Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Hooker Blackheart steering shaft that fits the 1982 through 1993 S10. As you know, I do have the LS engine in my truck, so we'll be taking a look at how the steering shaft is constructed, how it fits the truck, the clearance around the manifolds. Might give you guys some ideas if you got headers, if this thing would work for you or not. So let's go over here to the table, take a look at it, and then we'll get it installed. Okay, let's take a look at what we're going to be installing today. First of all, if you guys are using this as a disassembly and an installation video, you can see I've already got the factory steering shaft off of the truck. You're going to need an 11 millimeter to take the bolt out of the steering box, off the steering box shaft, the bolt, then a 15 millimeter to remove the bolt at the firewall connection part. But you can see why we would be opting to use this, because look at the universal joint compared to the rag joint and the coupling joint at the top at the firewall. We got much more. This is going to give us much more room if you're using a header or a manifold like I'm using, and I'll show you at the end of the video. To be honest, I wasn't going to make this video, but I get on a lot of the social media forums and people ask questions, and I've seen a lot of questions about, hey, what steering shaft are you guys using? And I was just going to install it and go on, but if this helps somebody out, that's why I do this stuff. So in taking a look at this, I have taken all of these set screws out because I was curious how they were locking this shaft together. And I was surprised that if you take this set screw out, it is actually drilled down into this solid shaft on your firewall connection end for your steering column. It actually goes through the column connection just like the factory. And what I was really excited to see was this long set screw on the shaft, the steering box end. This set screw actually goes through this hollow piece, hollow tube, I guess you would call it. The only thing I'm going to do differently is right here where this connects to the steering box, I'm going to take a drill bit, I'm going to put this on the steering box shaft, I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to take a drill bit and I'm going to drill just a little bit, maybe a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch, so that when I tighten this down and it goes through this shaft, it's going to go into the steering box shaft so that this is going to protrude down enough that this won't slide off. This is the only connection that you have on the steering box shaft that prevents it from moving. So I want to make sure that this is down in the shaft. As for the tools we're going to be using today, this is going to be a really quick, simple video, but I've got a 4 millimeter. I don't know if my tools are wore out, but even though this is a 5/16 18, my 4 millimeter is very snug in there. So I'm going to use that to hand feed it down in there, and then we're going to use this, the socket Allen wrench, to torque it as per the specs in the manual or the instructions to 18 foot-pounds. I'm going to need a 1/2 inch wrench to put my jam nuts, tighten my jam nuts. This connection here and this connection up here did not have jam nuts. So if you're following along, you're going to need two 5/16 by 18 thread nuts. These didn't have them on there. I'm going to add those. So those are 1/2 inch. Then you're going to need a 12 millimeter for the other two. You do see that I have a paint pen, a drill, and a center punch. That's where I'm going to mark the shaft, and I'll show you that. And from some of the things I've seen online, not all of the steering box shafts have a flat spot in them. They're splined all the way around, and as per the Hooker instructions, you're going to need to either file a flat spot or maybe take a flap disc and sand a flat spot down. And they also recommend using Loctite 242 or a thread locker. I've got 243, which is just a revised formula, and if you really want to lock it down, you could use 263. And all that's on the instructions. That's what you get with this shaft. You'll get that as well as the instructions, and that's what we're going to use to install it. It does call out 18 foot-pounds. Tighten everything to 18 foot-pounds, torque it down. Shop tip here, guys. This is something I thought was pretty interesting. I've never shown in my videos, but every part that I purchased for this truck, I take the instructions and I place them in these plastic sleeves and I put them in a 3-ring binder. That way I can always go back and find my part numbers. Hey, this is the Hooker steering shaft. Here's the part number. I've got the strange axles and what size lugs and everything I used, the cow track components, as well as the oil pans. Everything's in here. And and I can always go back and reference in this book and I don't get it all greasy. So just thought I'd throw that in there as a shop tip. But we'll get over here to the truck, get this put on, and this should be a very short video. I'll get this installed and show you what it looks like, show you the clearance around the manifolds that I use, and it might help somebody out saying, hey, yeah, that thing would work if I've got this type of header or that type of header. So let's go over here to the truck, get it installed. Before we get started, I wanted to show a video of the flat spot on my steering box shaft. I have never seen one that was splined all the way around, but that doesn't mean they're not out there. This is what Hooker was talking about. You need a flat spot for your set screw to sit on or to lock down to, and that's what I'm going to drill a small dimple in. I'll show you that. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing stuck on here. We'll get the other end locked down. It's not going to be very hard, but I'll kind of show you through the process how I did it. Okay, last thing I wanted to show you before final installation, drill pointing. This is what drill pointing a shaft is. So basically what I did, I took a 1/4 inch drill bit and I made a little dimple down into the shaft. And that's going to give the tapered end of this set screw something to bite down in rather than just sitting on top of a flat shaft. If it gets loose, then it could have the potential to slide out. But once you Loctite this down in here, and this tapered end of this set screw goes down in this shaft, that's going to give it a much better holding force than just biting down on top of a shaft. Now when I did this install, I put the this steering box shaft flush with my steering shaft on both ends here and up at the firewall, and I'll show you that. So let me get this thing installed and we'll show you the final results and the clearances around the manifolds. Okay, let's take a look at it and see how it turned out. So as you can see, I've got the shaft coming through the firewall flush with the end of my shaft right here, and we'll back up and let you see the clearances that we have. Looks really nice. This is the closest place it's going to be, and it's probably about a 1/2 inch away from the manifold. Coming on down, got it locked in down here. Now if you're going to do this on the truck, as you can see, I've got my engine is in the truck. You may need a right angle drill attachment like that because your drill's not going to get in here. And that gets us to the end of the video, guys. Thanks for stopping into the channel. As always, links to the parts will be in the description box below. Don't forget that I have t-shirts available with the truck logo or the piston logo. You can order those at dtperformance256@gmail.com. You can see from the pictures here what's available. Just shoot me an email, let me know what you'd like to have, either pink, black, or gray, and I'll get you one in the mail and get it to you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you leave, and we'll catch you in the next episode.